Hi YouTube, welcome to another edition of HorrorHands, and for this video I'm going to be talking about Bloodline. Now Bloodline is a really violent and graphic movie about a serial killer. It surprised me in a couple of ways, so I thought I'd come on here and say a few things about it. Now I was intrigued to watch this because it stars Seann William Scott, who is synonymous for me as Steve Stifler from the American Pie movies. I really love those movies and I like his character in those films, so I was intrigued to see what kind of performance he put in this kind of movie, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But he plays this guy. He is a counsellor at a school and he's just become a father. His wife's just had a baby and he's kind of having a really hard time. He's like really stressed out with sort of work and having a new baby and things like that. And it all starts to get on top of him. He starts to sort of build things up inside, and he kind of vents his anger and his stress by going around killing people at night. And the people he kills are linked to the kids that he counsels as part of his job at the high school. So a lot of these kids that he sees, they're like being beat on by their stepdad or abused by their uncle, that kind of thing. So he tracks these people down, abducts them, tortures them and kills them. And then after doing that, goes back to his regular life of just working and being a family man. And there's a little bit more to it which I won't get into, but as it says on the back of the case here, in terms of being a serial killer, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And I'm not going to get any more into that because I'll be giving things away. But there's a bit more to that story which was interweaved into the events and that kind of thing. But on the whole, it follows Seann William Scott, who by day is a hard-working family man, but by night is a brutal serial killer. So yeah, there were a couple of things that surprised me about this film. Number one was Seann William Scott's performance, and to give him credit, he was fantastic in this film. Like I say, I have only really seen him do sort of teenage comedy type movies. To me, he was fantastic as Steve Stifler, but he really puts on a remarkable performance in this film. Very believable as this guy trying to balance being a family man and yet being a serial killer. He has a very dark side to him. He really does a good job of portraying this guy who has like a lot of anger and problems just bubbling beneath the surface. He does a really, really good job in this movie. So credit to Seann William Scott for that. The other thing that really surprised me, like I say, was the level of violence and just the explicit nature of this film. It really took me back a little bit. So there's some graphic scenes of people being killed. He like stabs them and then stabs them in the neck. It's all shown in a really unflinching way. The effects are fantastic. It's very realistic. But yeah, I was not quite prepared for just how brutally violent this was. But credit to it, it was done very well and was very convincing. So yeah, this film won't be for everyone, but I thought it was well done and well made, and like I say, Seann William Scott was a revelation in this. He was fantastic. So, but yeah, very, very, very dark movie. I wouldn't quite class it as extreme horror, but it definitely has its moments, from the unflinchingly brutal kills to a graphic childbirthing scene, which I was not ready for. I'm not paternal at all, so I didn't need to see that. So yeah, if you like your serial killer type movies, but you can handle some pretty strong levels of violence, this is one that I'd recommend, and it does have a bit more of a story to it, which kind of adds a bit of a twist, which I found quite intriguing. So yeah, one to recommend if you can handle it. So let me know if you've seen this one. I'd be really intrigued by what other people think of Bloodline. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.